Welcome to Ask the $50 Billion Man with high-performance executive success coach Dan Peña. The only show where you ask and you get complete, no-holds-barred answers. You want the truth? Can you handle the truth? Ask only if you dare. Head on to www.askthefifty-billionman.com to submit your questions. And now, your host, Dan Peña.
Hi, this is Dan Peña, and welcome to the Ask the $50 Billion Man podcast number 015. We're going to start, get right into the questions right now. But I want to tell you that the questions have gotten better, and we're getting more of them, and I thank you very much for that participation. Okay, dear Dan, since you mentor a number of different types of people, other than business execs like priests and nuns, do you have any additional advice for academic scholars who are trying to make headway with their careers? No, it doesn't. It's not really any different for priests, nuns, or people in business. I mean, virtually everybody focuses on too many things. Focus on the few, not the many, and stay, laser beam focused, and prioritize. You got to learn to prioritize. Same thing for academicians. What would you ask Dale Carnegie if you could sit down with for lunch with him? Now, this is Dale Carnegie, not Andrew Carnegie. And I'm a graduate of the Dale Carnegie course, the sales course, as is Warren Buffett, I might add, who went to Dale Carnegie to learn how to sell his partnerships early on, back in the 60s. I'd ask him why he developed so many products and didn't stay focused on just the how to win friends and influence people that he initiated first. What about Wilson Luna? I thought he was the guy, a go-to guy, self-made millionaire that is coaching in London. I don't know. I never heard of him. I can't answer you. But if he hasn't done it, did he become a millionaire putting asses on seminar seats, or did he become a multi-millionaire building and selling businesses? Dan, you have nothing in common with Mother Teresa. This is funny. Okay. She did not give anything but false hopes to the sick and poor and let them die in pain and ruin buildings they call hospitals. You force people to take responsibility of themselves, for themselves, and their lives. This is not love. Then what is it? Well, thank you very much. Well, since Mother Teresa is a saint and I'm not, and it's not likely I'll be a saint, and since I supported two Mother Teresa orphanages, in fact, the very first, I believe she opened up in 1970 or 71. So I'm not going to. She was a hard woman. She made a lot of hard decisions, and so. When you start from scratch and you make hard decisions, you're not going to be able to please everybody. I finished reading Think and Grow Rich, and I'm currently reading Your First 100 Million. Napoleon Hill talks about sexual transmutation in one of his chapters. What is your take on it? Does it mean you're celibate and avoid going out with girls? No, it means that if you focus, this was written for young guys. If you focus as much energy in chasing girls on business, you'll be super successful. And unless something's changed in life, it says, you ask, does it mean to avoid going out with girls? You can avoid going out with girls and not have sex, I'm told, even in 2015. This is a young man I met with actually in Los Angeles not too long ago, and he writes, with my fucked up GPA, that's grade point average, I cannot get a decent internship through conventional way. I thought to myself, if the greatest CEO of Goldman Sachs started off as an assistant of a janitor, I should get a part-time job as a teller and then network and start from there. Do whatever it takes. You're going to a great school, you're going to graduate from a great school, and the fact that you didn't take your grades seriously enough in the beginning is unfortunate, but I mean, it's you can fix that regret by being successful. If you trust no one, you cannot trust yourself. That's deep, Dan. I'm going to think about that for a while. Don't think about it, just take action. And he's talking about, this is what my father wrote me, one of the many bright things that he wrote in the graduation letter when I was graduating from grammar school. As it is, I trust that some people may have the best intentions, but I don't trust their advice or ideas because of their limited analysis and their flawed logic. On a related issue, how do I find trustworthy mentor? I am wary and my potential mentor may steal my idea. Well, you can't worry about that. He may steal your idea. It's not likely, but he may. Don't be afraid of the what ifs. Just go out and do it. What is your relationship with God within, and do you think yourself to be God? I'm asking because you don't quite elaborate on that. Well, I certainly don't think I'm God, that's for sure. And whether what's my relationship with God? Well, that's a private matter, but I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in God. Mr. Peña, I do bow to your superior knowledge, but do you think that the business world will remain dominated by men of your gruff and suited, booted type? I think he means boot camp type. I mean no disrespect, my father is of your ilk. Well, maybe not. Try it your way, kid. You know, be my guest. Go out and you try it. You see how successful you are. But my answer is yes. To some extent, I guess I'm crazy, a motherfucker. But it's crazies who are the people that make things happen, right? Yes. Steve Jobs, for example. Maybe the real crazy people are those who take the shit life dishes out to them and die unfulfilled. Now it's my time to to accelerate. Will you invite this broke bastard to the seminar? No, I won't. But I get a lot of questions like this. Well, you know, I'm a poor guy. My mother beat me. My father raped me, and all these. I'm not trying to make light of all that, but everybody's got a story. You have to earn your way to the seminar. Or be one of the ones that has a question good enough to win, like we just did late last year. Hey, Dan, I'm looking for someone who will make me do what I don't want to do to get where I want to be. In essence, I'm looking for a mentor, but I live in New Zealand and have been looking for a while. But the only people who could be hard enough on me are the ones who can't be fucked. I don't understand that. Any advice on to find a mentor? Keep searching. I'm sure you haven't talked to 25 people. You know, write me again after you've looked at 100 different opportunities or 100 different potential mentors. How about this one for those who think they can do it by themselves? There's no I in team, but there's definitely a you in cunt. I'm going to read that again. How about this one for those who think they can do it by themselves? There is no I in team, but there's definitely a you in cunt. I like that. How do you determine who is the best? By their track record. And, you know, my track record speaks for itself. Track record and your gut instinct. What is life's greatest joy? My greatest joy is pulling as many of you sorry bastards across the goal line like Forrest Gump did in the movie Forrest Gump. My interest is in oil and gas sector, energy. How can I be involved making business deals in the oil and gas in the UK or anywhere in the world? I live in the UK. Well, you go get a job in the energy business. You put together a dream team, just like I talk about it in the book, just like I talk about it in all the newsletters, just like I talk about it in the podcast, just like I talk about it in my ebook, just like I talk about it, you know, in all the free content. You said that if you were to go back in time, you would plan for even bigger slice, the grand dream of $20 billion. I see some of myself in you, and I can imagine myself growing gratefully like you, and lately deciding to achieve that 20 billion finish line. Which are the deadline pitfalls you would advise me to avoid? I can't advise you. Read all my stuff. You're going to make mistakes. That's all I can tell you. See, what you kids are looking for, you're looking for, Dan, do A, B, and C, and I'll be successful in a month. That's not how it works. QLA shortens what you normally would achieve in a generation, which is 20 to 25 years, into 3 to 7 years, depending on how quick you are, and depending if you get some lucky breaks in the 3-year time frame, or if you just old-fashioned hard work, the 6 to 8-year time frame. Dan, you've helped people rise up the corporate ladder and becoming big CEOs. Can you help aspiring politicians to become minister, prime minister, or even president? Yeah, sure I could. But it's how willing are you to sacrifice? Are you willing to make personal sacrifices? What's your pay price to action? As long as it's moral, ethical, legal. If I can show somebody how to be the CEO of the 20th largest company in the world, I can certainly teach them, how to be a minister, prime minister, or even the president. Why is oneself the biggest hurdle to success? Because unfortunately, your parents trained you that way, and unfortunately, the greatest task that we were put on this earth, in my opinion, is to bring children into the world, and children that we were ill prepared to conceive, let alone train and show how to be successful. But that's life, and it's been like that for a couple million years. Dear Blood and Guts, that's what he's calling me, I guess. I've been searching for an online business to start that can offer serious rewards. I can't help you. I'm not the right guy to ask that. Would not require rocket. My goal would be to take the money earned online and buy income property. Now, I don't like income property because income property is passive income, and then because you're passive income, then you become lazy. One of your sayings is, progress often masquerades as trouble. We're fucking this planet over, yada, yada, tackling climate change from that point of view, an environmental management student in the UK. Okay, I was in the South Pole renewing my vows with my lovely wife a few years ago, and we had scientists down there that were showing us cores of ice, a meter long, and they showed us that 55,000 years ago, it was warmer 55,000 years ago there in the South Pole. Not many people realize the South Pole is on a mountain than it is today. I believe climate change is more a cyclical thing. That's not to say that we're not fucking up the environment. I'm not saying that. But I think that we may be exacerbating or speeding it up, but climate change is cyclical. Is it possible to see what is on the weekly report? I've mentioned that, just 3 sections. What you accomplished this week, what your goals for next week, and any challenges or problems. What do you think of wanting to be wealthy when not in the business arena? Can people with genuine passion for sports, art, and so on have the claim on gigantic success through hard work? Yes, they can. A lot of people say that I've gone about as far as you can expect with my limited IQ, with my limited natural talent. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But I know that I have found very few people that have outworked me. I had dinner with one of my quasi-mentors and his lovely wife a number of weeks ago, and he reminds, after he's had a couple of drinks, he reminds me, he doesn't have to remind me because I lived it, but he reminded my wife that in his 50th year in business, and he's a Wall Street guy, he only had to force one employee to go home. One. Me, the guy sitting in front of this camera. He had the security guards drag me out of the building. Because I used to sleep at my desk. I'd spend 3, 4, 5 days there. I bought some clean shirts. I used to clean myself up in the men's room. And he made me go home. I used to work on the weekends. I never went home. And in 50 years, he's only had one guy like that, and it's me. So I believe in hard work. Hard work trumps a lot of fancy stuff. How does financial motives must prevail fit with do what you're passionate about? Well, financial motives must prevail is what Andrew Carnegie said, and that was his number. He had 4 keys to success, one of which was financial motives must prevail. But he was talking about not just for him, but for the employees. And I believe that was his way of saying that the employees have to benefit in the trickle-down effect. As you become more successful, they should become more successful and get paid more. Now, how does that fit with do what you're passionate about? Well, in Andrew Carnegie's case, and in my case, I am doing what I was passionate about, and so did Andrew Carnegie. So, I mean, it's really, they're not mutually exclusive. Dan, you said at the age of 31 you were very sad. No, I didn't say that. Yet successful. That you only reached 10% of your goals so far. Yeah. No, I wasn't sad. I was being realistic that I had only not even accomplished 10% of my goals by the time I was 31. What if you had made your goals bigger, which you advocate, and at that time you would have only achieved, let's say, 0.1% of it? Isn't it more healthy to your self-image and motivation levels to have a feeling that you're already made? No, it's not. That's conventional cunt wisdom. And you've been reading too many cunt books. And if you're worried about your self-image, then something's wrong with you. And again, you show me your friends and I show you your future. You sound like somebody that's sitting around in a sports bar watching fucking football games, belching and farting, and everybody laughing about it. How can I take over the whole economy of Slovakia? Started from the bottom, currently working my way up the food chain in the fitness industry. Now, let me give you a clue. The reason why so many people are in the fitness industries and get started as personal training, because there's no barrier to entry. Any fucking John Doe or Sally Doe can become a personal trainer. Now I'm not saying any John Doe can get a six-pack, but any John Doe can be a personal trainer. And so you're not going to take over the country in the personal fitness. When selecting a business partner, a dream team member, it's very important to have not only a connection, but a deep level of trust. How can I quickly identify not only right for me, but also trustworthy? You can't. You're looking for the gilt-edged panacea. You're looking for the Holy Grail, and it doesn't exist. You've got to take some risk. You made it clear that your dream team and mentor are the biggest indicators of future success. Correct. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Correct. But how do I find these people and make them a regular part of my life? I know how and have left shit friends, partners, but I'm a bit lost in finding new high-performance friends. Well, okay. Well, where are you hanging out? You hanging out at the local pub, or you hanging out at a country club you can't afford? I've told you, my wife and I used to go to the big houses, million-dollar homes, and this is a big house back in the early 70s, and look at how the people lived. I told you I used to go to the Rolls-Royce dealers to sit in and smell how the inside of a Rolls-Royce felt and smelled. That's where you start. I've got people right now, mentees that are joining country clubs, tennis clubs, yacht clubs. And you can become a member of a yacht club. First yacht club I ever was a member of was Kona Kai Club in San Diego, and I didn't have a yacht. And funny enough, on one side of me, the slip was John Wayne. He had an old fabricated PT boat. And the other side of me was Jerry Lewis, the comedian, who's, I believe, still alive. And that's how I met them. And it's possible. I've got the passion, I've got the idea, but I hit a brick wall when it comes to launch. If I don't get airborne soon, it's going to be too late. Dan, I need to know what the hell is holding me back. You are. You're a weak cunt. I mean, how obvious is it? Jesus. I know I have talent. So what? I mean, man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. I know this would be good, so good, to get others to a state of health. Oh, we're back to health. We're back to physical fitness. That's great, but everybody and his fucking dog's involved in that. How many times do I have to say this? There is no barrier to entry. The bottom line is, what is your unique selling proposition? Or do you have one? Mr. Peña, first of all, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Free material. Thanks. I've been studying. Okay. My question is, do you think political correctness is the consequence of low self-esteem? Yes! Oh my God, you're a fucking genius. If not, then why do you think that is suddenly arisen? Now, I do think that is. Political correctness is a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-confidence. You don't want to hurt other people's feelings because you give a shit what they think of you. I don't give a fuck. I don't sell anything. I give everything away free. I don't have to have any fucking customer service. If you can't steal it off internet and get it off my fucking site free, fuck you. I like that. I have to remember that. Thank you for the opportunity to gain knowledge like this. Oh, yeah. QLA has truly had an impact on my life. Feel honored to have come across your high-performance thinking via Brian Rose, and I thank him for my new life as showbiz. I know you made your money mostly before the tech era, where the internet created these multi-billionaires. If a Zuckerberg or a Larry Page came to you and said they wanted to take their respective companies to the next level, which seems implausible to the average on-seeker, what would you tell them? That's an interesting question. I don't know enough about Larry Page's model, and I certainly don't know enough about Zuckerberg's model, although I do subscribe to Facebook. But they need to add value. They need to, in the era, I'm talking about Zuckerberg now, in the era of everything's free on the internet, how does Zuckerberg monetize Facebook? Not easily. So in his particular case, you got to monetize and add more value. And in Larry Page's, I really can't tell you because I'm not familiar with his model. What are the most effective ways to build a great emotional bank account? Well, unfortunately, your parents got you started, and probably in the wrong way. But it's who you hang around with. And you got to be able to take emotional risks. And you got to realize that failure is on the way to success. And the road to success is always under construction. I'm a 24-year-old cunt with only a handful of experience in business and life. I'm committed to working hard and taking massive action in order to achieve massive success. Living in New York City, do you recommend that I spend the next phase of my life conquering the corporate world here to build a network as well as experience? Or would focusing solely on starting the company in back to healthcare? The reason why so many people are interested in healthcare, and healthcare is good, at least this guy's not talking about being a personal fitness guy, be a superior option. I'd work a couple more years and then start a company, which would involve doing odd jobs to make ends meet, but ultimately doing whatever it takes to generate a massive exit. In either case, my goal is the big exit, and it should be. You shouldn't get involved in any project unless you've already got the exit planned. I've met with a potential business partner twice, and he seems to be the great fit in all aspects. The only issue to be resolved is whether I can trust him. Again, another person worrying about trust. Is there some type of test? Well, you could drop a $100 bill out of your pocket and see if he picks it up. No. The only way that you test integrity is through business. I'm an independent software developer working on a product that is due to release next year. A lot of software these days is being given away, correct. And I would like to know if it would be a smart move to give the product away. I can't tell you. I don't know what your product is. I've written out my affirmations, goals, and visualizations as you advised to. I know that you practice your affirmations, goals, and visualization on a regular basis. Yes, I do. I'd like to know exactly how you do that. How often do you do it? How long does it take? And what exactly do you do? Okay. The first thing I read, well, I have at least one affirmation for every goal. I have currently about 20 affirmations. I'm just currently updating it, so I'm going to have about 30 affirmations, but I'm still working on the right words. So for every goal, there's an affirmation. I do it. I used to do it the first thing when I woke up in the morning and just before I go to bed. Now I only do it just before I go to bed. And it takes me about 10 or 12 minutes to read my affirmations. Now, I used to read my goals and affirmations. I don't do that anymore. I only read my affirmations because I know the goals by heart. I mean, I know them cold. I mean, stone cold. I know them, every comma, in the sentences. I am following your thoughts and try to be 1% better than yesterday. That's not exactly how I said it, but that's not a bad idea. Every day, what are your thoughts if someone is giving 100% in his own view for several months but doesn't see any results? In my opinion, it's if you're going through hell, keep going. But I really want to hear, yeah, you're right. If you're going through hell, you just keep on going. As long as you're making progress toward the goal line. Now that progress may only be a centimeter. But if you're not making any progress towards the goal line, or your defeats are taking away months and months of progress, then you probably got the wrong model. Can you tell us a few funny and or embarrassing episodes while you were younger and not so experienced in business world? I bet all of us will enjoy to hear a few of them. They're all on my, thanks for asking, but they're in my book. You can get on torrent. They're on my website and various newsletters. It's just it's not time to relist them. But the important point, and the reason why I put this question up, is that high performance people do not mind in dealing in self-deprecation. In other words, poking fun at themselves, because their self-esteem and their ego is strong enough to take it. I will lead an amazing life. Why not help me get there faster? Well, that's a nice kind of a sentence. But God helps those who help themselves, and Dan helps those who help themselves. Aside from their time, what is the best sacrifice someone can make to elevate from modest success to stratospheric? The best way is to, again, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You are who you spend most of the time with, and we can't make up for the fact that you've already spent a lot of time with your parents. So you need to put yourself in a high performance environment. It's that simple. Dan, I heard from a millionaire that if you don't have something you are passionate about, find something you like and then work your ass off doing it. I agree. He says after working like a maniac on it and you're going to get such great results that you're going to love it and more. I agree. What are your thoughts about this? I agree so far. He sounds like a smart guy or gal. Do you think there is a good way to find my passion? Try a lot of different things. That's what university used to be about. You have to have 120, 130 units. You got to take, 4 or 5 classes a semester for 4 years, and you'll find something you like. I'm not so sure that works anymore. Will you train me to run a QLA seminar based in Canada? No. I'm not leaving anybody to do QLA. My legacy will be all the free content that I've left. But thanks for asking. How do I treat studying like work and be motivated to put in hours despite no income? I'm 23 years old from Europe studying law. I want to dominate the local market in the future. Well, just remember, stay focused on the fact that the better you graduate from your law school, the higher you're up, will be the better job that you can get, and then go off on your own. I was wondering if you could give me any insights into whether Dan has any religious, spiritual philosophies, if any. I'm just interested in Dan's guiding principles that have gotten him through the tough times. Well, I would be disingenuous if I told him that my belief in God got me through the tough times. The only person that got me through the tough times was me, and with the occasional guidance of my mentors in the past. I was raised a Roman Catholic, and I've been baptized, confirmed, and the necessary steps that you take as a young man being raised a Catholic. But the Word of God or your higher power isn't what got me through the tough times. Belief in myself got me through the tough times. You speak about how you obtained finance in other countries. What if the member, the question is, I remember this question, all your dream team are from one country and not from other countries. Do you have any advice on this topic? Yeah. If all you guys are from America, it doesn't mean you can't get money in the UK. I mean, These guys, it's probably tougher to get money in America, so that means they can get money just about any place. I'm 25 years old, devotee of yours from Greece. I've been heavily influenced by you and consider you my greatest mentors. You have said that there aren't many books, but some of them are Release Your Brakes. That's true. Keep reading. Could you please? I've already said this. I'm not going to repeat myself. Other than my book, Release Your Brakes, The E-Myth, Tough-Minded Management and Tough-Minded Leadership by Joe Batten. Dear Dan, I hope this question gets entered to draw invitation. You didn't win, young man. I believe it to be a good one. I am seriously considering pulling the trigger. If you're seriously considering pulling the trigger, then something's wrong with you. Just pull the fucking trigger. Obviously, you're a big believer in mind over matter, correct. When you don't feel like doing something, what does the voice inside? There is no voice. It's habits. Motivation got me started. Good habits keep me going. Which great man from history would you want to go head-to-head with in a fight? Well, I like it to be a combination. I like it to be Leonardo da Vinci, who supposedly had a 240 or 50 IQ, and somebody like Hercules. That's who I'd like to go head-to-head with, intellectually and physically. Finished listening to episode 6 of your podcast and heard you mention you have another home in the Philippines, which is where I am from, although I was born and raised in London. However, there are just so many cultural traits ingrained in Filipinos throughout generations that just don't seem to fit in the high-performance personality. Really? Duh. No fucking way, dude. They're too nice and too pleasing, to name just a couple, and don't have enough of taking life by the scruff of its neck attitude you seem to espouse, and that I agree is necessary to get all you can in life. No fucking way! I'm not saying I fit this stereotype, of course not. In fact, I'd say I'm far different from your typical Filipino, but I've definitely had my struggles with it in the past and still coming, and is still coming, something I'm trying to fully overcome. You wouldn't be writing this fucking thing if you didn't still have it, dude. Have you experienced this, and what advice can you offer with regards to dealing with self-doubt and limiting beliefs? Duh, let me think now. After 8 years in the Philippines, I'll come up with an answer though. Affirmations have worked brilliantly for me in the past and continue to do so. But if there is anything else you can contribute, that would be great. Also, regarding bank accounts, let's stop right there. Well, if you've got a Filipino family, which obviously you do, and you got Filipino friends, which I would be fucking stunned if you didn't, you got to get rid of them. Now let's move on to the next part of the question. And not because you don't love them, and by get rid of them, I don't mean do them away or bury them or whatever, but you got to stop dealing with them, and you need to show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Also regarding bank accounts, financial, what is the most life-changing, oh no, wait a minute, okay. Also regarding bank accounts, financial. What I think you meant to say there is emotional. Well, your emotional bank account financial bank account is probably low because your emotional bank account is low because of the things you just stated about your Filipino background. I'm just telling you that it's not easy. It just isn't easy. But it is possible. There are high-performance people in the Philippines. Okay, what is the most life-changing advice you ever received? Focus on the few, not the many. Simple. Has QLA helped you become successful by helping you develop consciousness, by forcing yourself to follow your inner truth and passion, creating a stronger connection with yourself and who you really are? Does QLA work not because you're any different than who you were before, but because you follow yourself without giving up and without letting anything in your path? That's the answer. Not because you're any different than who you were before, but because you follow QLA yourself without giving up and without letting anything in your path. That's the answer. What is the absolute strength and weakness a person needs to be? Well, you don't need a weakness to be successful. The absolute strength you need is focus. I like this question. Why aren't you the $100 billion man? Because I haven't been able to get enough of you sorry assholes, lazy cunts across the goal line, like Forrest Gump. The 50 billion that we talk about, I can talk about the names, and we got more than that. But as I've said on several occasions, everybody wants wealth, but not everybody wants notoriety. Dan, should one have more than one mentor at a time? Should the other mentor be aware of how best should this relationship be managed? You can have more than one mentor, and you don't have to keep it a secret. What has been the most difficult decision, business or personal, you've made in your career? I've made countless, so I really can't differentiate. One of the toughest things in my career, and it wasn't a decision that I made, it was a decision the board made when they threw me out of the company that I founded. But I don't look at the decisions as being tough. I just look at that they have to be made. What do you suggest in starting a business with someone else? How do you suggest do it decentralized? In case if someone quits, no. Don't worry about decentralization, centralization. You're worrying about shit that doesn't matter. Just find something that you believe in and just go fucking do it. How do I start my journey to accomplish 1 billion? I'm currently 21 years old. That's a good time to start. And this is my main goal in life. Lots of my strengths are found in business, but I don't have a business to manage or a product to sell. I know you are busy, and I appreciate any time you spend on us. Well, good. I'm glad you're appreciative. Read everything that I've got on my site. Get a hold of a copy of my book on torrent. Take all the tests. Read my ebook. And keep swinging at the plate till you find something you like. How can a high school student improve his peer group when he is particularly surrounded by low performance? It's tough in high school. Is there a way for a 16, 17-year-old not to be affected by the knights of conventional wisdom? That's an interesting way of putting it. And the common stupidity among classmates. Stay to yourself. Stay to yourself. Stick to yourself. Be your own best company. Dan, when and how did you start becoming so high on life? That's a good question. As I said at Dave Asprey's biohacking conference in his interview of me, and again with Brian Rose in the second interview on London Real, which was done at Guthrie Castle when he was attending the seminar. The first high performance act I ever did or committed was graduating from infantry OCS in 1967, July 1967, where a lot of people start out and not all of them finish. And it was the first time I've ever done anything like that. And as I say, the United States Congress, by an act of Congress, I was deemed to be an officer and a gentleman. Up until that time, I certainly had never been an officer, and nobody had ever called me a gentleman. But I think that was the beginning of my high on life stage. Hello, Mr. Peña. What role did your degree in business administration serve you in long-term success? None. Other than I finished a 4-year degree in 2.5 years, taking as much as 26 semester units. I believe I took 30 units in summer school, went to 2 universities simultaneously. It taught me that I could accomplish just about anything I set my mind to. Would you still have made $450 million and been as successful as you are without attending college? I can't tell you that. All I know is I did attend college, but my college degree, other than what I just said, alluded to, knowing that I could get a lot of stuff accomplished in a very short period of time, showed me that I could do things other people couldn't. Do you ever feel tired from work? No. Or able to achieve more with less time? Do you ever feel tired from work or able to achieve more with less time? No, I don't try to achieve more with less time. I'm so used to putting in long hours. And then the rest of his question was freeing up time to relax and enjoy life. I'm enjoying life. You sound like a person that's living a quiet life of desperation. And there's nothing I can do about that. And you know who you can blame for that. I feel an internal struggle, almost like two lions constantly fighting each other. One wants the challenges, the light, and wait a minute. One wants the challenges, and the other one doesn't. It sounds to me that I've never had this problem, so I can't relate to it. I've always looked for bigger challenges. I have very few regrets, but one of them is I didn't set my goals high enough. I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and it seems I can make a good living, but I can't seem to leverage my business to make the wealth you are talking about. Should I start looking into other businesses? Well, you can use the cash flow and the money that you've acquired, the wealth that you've acquired, to do other things, yes. In your opinion, what destroys a person's business success, and have you seen someone on top crumble to the ruins? Oh, shit. I've seen many. Some of my best mentees have fallen to shit. And they've engaged in self-sabotaging activities because they didn't, even though they followed the steps and I nurtured them along, and I don't really nurture too much, I beat them along, when they get to a level that they believe that they shouldn't be there, then they go and do something stupid. How can you avoid this? Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I'm 17 years old, Albanian. Is ruthlessness one of the most important factors to be successful, and do you believe a man and woman should do everything to achieve his goals, even if in ways may consider bad deeds? No, I've never said that, and I've never said ruthlessness. I said as long as it's legal, moral, ethical, do it. Sir, I want to start my own business. This might be a stupid question to you, but please answer and be detailed. No, okay. Imagine when you had no job experience, if that you wanted to start a business. What advice would you give him? How would you know the industry? Okay, young man, young lady, go to my website. Read all 115 or whatever newsletters. Read my ebook. Go to Torrent. Get all my product. Don't ask me questions like this until you do your fucking homework. You sound like a lazy person. How will Dan's insight into business translate into strategy for total godlike excellence in all areas of life, health? I don't know. It doesn't. I didn't say I was godlike. I didn't say the QLA was godlike. Okay? And you cannot have it all. Okay? You're not going to have it life, health, marriage, friendship, the arts, beyond business itself. Something's got to suffer. As Jack Welch says, there is no life balance, life-work balance. There are choices, and choices have consequences. I know that you say anyone can make money following the quantum leap advantage, but I also heard that you encourage your children to go to college. Yes, I did. What college major do you think would have benefited you the most with the way that you made your money? Well, I have a degree in business administration, undergraduate degree. And I've got quite a bit of my master's in finance, but I didn't finish it. Would a new degree like organizational leadership be better than a finance degree? Well, the leadership degrees that I've seen aren't worth much. So I'd say finance. What should a 21-year-old student do and not do? What should he focus on, and should he cut from his life? Again, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Read my website, please. When it's been a long battle and you haven't won yet and everyone is exhausted, how do you snap out of this dark place? Doubt, uncertainty, depression. Well, I never go into doubt. I may be wrong, but I'm never in doubt. I know it never go into depression, and I'm never uncertain. I'm always at the front of the line, charging, going forward. And as long as your people see you never in doubt, never depression, never uncertain, they'll follow you. What are your thoughts on mentally modeling successful people? Does it stifle innovation in the market? Blah, 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 blah. You obviously haven't read my book. You obviously haven't read my website. You know, success leaves clues. You know, model somebody that's already done it. Dan, you frequently mention that you should do what you love. I have the willingness to work hard and learn, but I do not know what I would love to do. How can I find it? Try a lot of different things. How important, in your opinion, is not giving a fuck about what others think? It's of paramount importance. How can I unlock my full potential and be the best I can be? Never give up. Stay focused and keep trying different things until you find something that you cannot walk away from. Why should we believe that your seminars are worth 10,000? That's interesting. How do we know your success is repeatable rather than strokes of good fortune? Because if I know your success isn't just luck, then investing 10,000 into a seminar with you makes total sense, and I'd rather spend 10,000. Don't do me any fucking favors, kid. Go find out the hard way. Go fuck yourself. Don't bother me, okay? We have countless testimonials. We've created over $50 billion. What have you created? Nothing. Go to school. How can we break the belief of people are destined for this or that when all over actors and models are discovered in the line at the fast food restaurant? That's an interesting point. 20,000 kids, at least 20,000 kids, come to Hollywood every year to be movie stars. And they're working in fast food restaurants. Only one or two a year have a breakthrough, and it's not the first year they're there. So, I mean, how many, as a percentage, what is 1 or 2 out of 20,000? I don't think it's any different than the top 0.1% of the 7 billion that I talk about. How would one quantify success in a field where money is not the governing quantifying metric, working in a non-business related field while retaining the same work drive? How would you quantify? Are you considered the best in your industry? Are you at the top of your game? Are you getting awards? I used to manage online marketing for a massive pet supplements brand. 2 months ago, I have decided to quit and start my own pet supplements brand. Sales started to come in and I'm feeling ecstatic and I want to crush my previous company. But I'm also afraid that once my old employees will figure out what I did, they will try to do whatever they possibly can to take me out. They probably will. I feel like this limiting belief is like a mental break. You're correct. That is not allowing me to accelerate faster. What can I do? Read the book, release your brakes. What is the best way to raise 30 million quickly and will keep control of the startup? There's no easy way. Read my book. If you could model a cure for quitters and underperformers, what would it contain and how would you deliver it? It would be a list of people that almost quit but decided not to, that went on to be successful. How is that you are able to keep employees and stopping them from seeking their own accomplishments if you radiate such an incredible amount of inspiration when you're there in your company? I tell everybody sometime it's going to be your time to leave. You know, I don't want to keep anybody past their time. I try to teach them as much as I possibly can, mentor them as much as I possibly can, and then they go off and they find their own inspirations. Why am I not going for it? Because you're afraid, you got no balls, and you're a cunt. And your parents trained you to be that way. I'm 21 from Australia. I've had a crippling problem I've faced all my life. I was raised by a very loving and caring mother. So what? She's no longer responsible, obviously, but I'm not using her as an scapegoat. Yes, you are. But I never put myself first in a relationship, business, socializing, life in general. I recently changed, however, and now care about myself and making me happy first and foremost. This sounds stupid, and I know, haha, but from your past and wise life experience, is there any time when you're putting yourself first is bad when you're young? No. I'm respectful to all those I admire and treat. You can still be respectful and still put yourself first. My advice to almost everybody I meet is be more selfish. Which great historical figure would you want to meet the most? I'd like to meet Andrew Carnegie, who comes from just down the road from where my castle is, in Dunfermline, Scotland. How the hell do I detect the tipping point when it should switch from reasonable considering to just fucking do it? You shouldn't reasonably consider anything. I mean, when people say that they're considering this, or it's because they're cunts. If you had to start over from the beginning with the experience you have now, what would you do more of and what less? Obviously, I do more of the successful things, and I try to do none of the unsuccessful things. That's a stupid question. but I understand it. People will consider us. Please, will you consider us to make your 70th birthday cake? No, thank you. It's already been made. What is the right question to ask? The right question is to ask the question that means the most to you, not to me or anybody else. How do you have so much energy? Because I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm high on life, and I always have been. But I have great habits, and I don't let other people influence me. Hi Dan, I'm from Brazil, yada yada, living in the U.S. for 5 years, Brazilian guy, who already doing what I'm about to start. How should I start creating a relationship with a Brazilian guy? Well, it's very tough if you're going to start creating a relationship with Brazilian guys if you're in America. You should have thought of that when you were back in Brazil. Maybe you should go back to Brazil. I want to be a high-performance person, but I'm currently in college where most of the people interact low performance value. Yeah, it's true. I want to get my degree. I still have a year left, graduating a semester early, but also want to build a high-performance lifestyle. How should I go about it? Finish school first. In the current global financial environment we now face, what would you say are the most important lessons for the next generation of business leaders to thoroughly know and adhere to? How do you transfer your valuable lessons to young business leaders? That's why I'm giving it all away free. Okay, that's it for this podcast. I want to thank you all for your questions again. Keep the questions coming in. God bless, peace.